back to another episode of Team Junior Coffee Talk. Today we also have Antito joining us. How are you doing today, An?
Oh man, I'm doing great, Em.
Been a long week.
With that excitement, how can I not do well?
Right.
Thanks for the opportunity as always, Em. Always good to talk to you.
Yeah, we're always happy to get some of your professional opinion. Recently there's been so much going on with the economy and the inflation. It's so crazy that a bowl of pho I used to pay only $8. Now it's probably $15, and that's so crazy. But you know what? I have some questions that are a lot of people are addressing recently that, in your professional opinion, if you can give some of, share some of us that, what are some of the essential business tools that new small business or even currently having a small business that they can be, successful in this current economy or maybe even competitive, especially in our community too. Can you share some of the business tools in your opinion?
Yes, Em, definitely. You brought up the great point. Topics of recessions, inflations.
Right.
I'm sure some of us understand to a certain point what they all means, right?
Right.
But I think all of us know what they mean is that when you go and spend $100 and really get nothing pretty much
Right. The value
back.
of your money is not as much as what it was before.
Eating out 150, 200, and just feel like it's not not just hitting the spot, but not satisfying from a financial standpoint.
Exactly.
The dollar we make working hard, literally is costing us $1.50 when it comes to food or living expenses. You want to put it in that context. And so, for another episode, different day and time, we can talk about investments, how to respond, react to that.
Right.
Being a financial advisor,
Yeah.
I deal with this every day. I know it's tough right now with the stock market. So it's important as always to understand our value, our goals, and our objectives. I think if you're consistent with that, then regardless of what the economy does, the inflation, recession, whatever it is, if our plans, our goals, and our strategies are in place and it's in consistent with our goals, values, and objectives and principle, then we can handle pretty much any uncertainty that comes, right?
So you're valuing on preparing and planning for the future.
Right. I mean, as a financial advisor or as an advisor overall, you sit down and you say, okay, how do we make the decision to invest in a particular asset class or business or whatever that are consistent with what's important to us, right? And our goals and our objectives are met. So that even though there are uncertainties of outside your business, outside your house, affects everything, but it is outside, meaning that you can't control that.
Right.
What you control is what you can do in choosing the investment to make, choosing where your investment money go to.
Right.
Right. The priority that you set for your family. Some people say, I want to make the most money out there. Then they gotta be willing to take the risk.
Right.
Some folks say, you know what, growth and dividends and gains are not that important to me. I want safety and security. Then we make sure that their investment is consistent with their safety and security.
Right.
Does that make sense? Some folks say, hey, I got 20 years to invest. I don't care about what's going on tomorrow or the next day. I got a long time to recover. Other people say, I only have 5 to 6 years. How do I adjust to this? Because I can't retire today with the money that I'm taking out, with all this craziness, with the volatilities and uncertainties.
So it's just based on each individual's where their financial goal or investment goals is, that they're choosing the right plan.
Right. And the tricky part as an advisor is that we don't talk about advice and investment strategies so much because of compliance, right? Every situation is different. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. All this stuff. So we on a case-to-case basis. We can cater and tailor to your particular needs, right? But I think your question is about the essential business tools, small businesses in our community,
that help
that I
these
think
businesses,
that we could embrace, polish, improve, or learn to acquire in order to deal with these uncertainties, right?
Yeah, of course.
So this is just my own, experience, what I take away from 18 years of dealing with businesses. So I'm sure you have your own tools, you have your own skills that are important, but I think the tools is something you acquire, physical or intangible, that, will help you become more efficient, right? Whether it's to collect money faster, whether to reach out to the masses, whether to make our financial picture clear, or or easier to manage, right? So I think the first thing, honestly, that I tell every small business person now, or that already been in business for a while, is the whole database, right? Because just like big businesses, Amazon's, I think of Amazon, I think of any online e-commerce, is like they have a big database of who are their client base, who are their clients, right? who are their client base, who are the vendors, right? Who's doing what, who's making the most, who's, in needs of their services, all the ancillary items, any algorithm and data that they can gather from you to make themselves efficient, they have all that. Again, that's not us, right? We're a small business. So if you're a nail salon, or a restaurant, or a tax office, or an attorney that started a business, I would say look at your database, right? What does that mean? I was like, well, who are the client that comes to your office? Right? What name, address, information, who are the central influence, who do they connect with, who do they know? Birthdates. Right? Phone. I mean, besides all the important information, I would say having a database where you can see your client intimately, personally, and addressing their niche or their type of client. Descriptions or criteria or whatever you see, so that you can be better at serving their needs. Does that make sense? I'll take that back and say, make it more specific. A database is a list of clients or people that you deal with that are important, that you're not going to remember all here. Right? And my problem is that we use Access database, we use all the various CRM, client relationship management software. The problem is most mom and pop don't have any of that.
And they're probably not very tech savvy to do it as well.
Again, if you have a booklet of all your clients like my mom does, I'm okay with that. I'm hoping that your kids can help you transition that to Excel.
It's probably speed up the process too.
And again, we're not talking about, something that dynamic where it changes as you interact with the client, like an application would do for you, but something at least in writing, in physical sense of the name,
that you do
the
have
address,
a list,
the last time they came to see you, what did they like, what did they dislike about the service or the features that describe them. You know what I mean? Their email address, if they have a Facebook account, the cell phone, we can text them, remind them of appointments or call them. Whatever it is, we need to have a database. Maybe start with your family, your friends. If you're starting as a business, put that as a prospect list. Who do you want to target? Who are your center of influence? Who do you go to do your business with, whether to get your hair cut, you get your clothes clean, where you bring your kids to. Those are your prospect, your potential clients. So I would say
part of the database too.
And it sounds so common sense, right? But you'd be surprised how many people don't have that database.
So mainly it's just people not really good at tracking and keeping good notes or
But the people with the database will separate themselves away from the people who don't have a database. The people that would just come and react to whatever comes their way would be the one without the database.
So the people who's actually having a database of their current and prospect potential, clients is going to be leading the race, while the other people who doesn't have any of those or doesn't keep track, they might be losing their client. They probably have a few of them visiting once or twice, and then they never call or anything, then they probably might gonna lose that returning customer.
And that will be part of your database entry, right? That not just mention them, who they are, but when's the last time they visit us? It's been a long time.
And what kind of service they got.
18 years of business, we're still doing that. I don't have a problem paying for applications and app and technology to support it, but we haven't seen one that's really perfected or fully tailored to our type of business. Right? So what does that mean? It means we have to kind of incorporate. We have to create. We got to be nimble. So we got multi level of resources, different apps, and also we have to create our own that complements what's missing.
And what you really pertain to you. And what you want.
But people ask me what changed my business. It was that very reason.
The first one too much. And especially with that one, you also building a great relationship with your clientele as well. And oh, he remembered my birthday. That's actually a really good point.
Well, I would say that would be the second one. That now that we have a database, right? What tools do we have to connect, right? To engage. Okay, so I've seen my clients where they're text which is great, perfect.
Yeah.
Right? Because, hey, Mr. So-and-so, looking forward to see you at this time, 3 o'clock on a Tuesday. You know, look forward to see you and your
Confirming
family.
their appointments.
That too is like, thank you for visiting us today. I hope you're happy. Please provide this coupon of $20 off to your family and friends. You know, little things like that, right?
Yeah.
So I would say take advantage of technology, but I would go back to the physical activity or the physical approach that I took. Even to this day, we send out birthday cards.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel very special.
That birthday card is personalized. It's personalized when you have 100 clients. It's not personalized when you have 1,000.
Yeah.
So it's written, but we have a system where it's printed out like if it was written, but it was really it's really typed.
Imagine you have to write.
My clients are empathetic towards me being busy, but I want them to know I remember you.
Yeah.
I think of you on your special day.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sell you anything. And part of the note on there is that, hey, life has been busy for all of us. I just wanted you to know that I think of you on your special day.
Yeah.
And please, anything comes up, regardless of even business or not, I'm here for you.
Wow.
Right? And so, and you know, I think that's that personal touch.
Of course.
Yes, it requires some time. And so if you have the money and resources, there are resources out there that outside vendors that do business card for you.
Yeah.
Or you can just, like I said, if you have a database already, transfer the Excel spreadsheet over to Word. You can put that as label.
Right.
Mail those out. Sign it if you need to. That's the case. But at least something physical that they can touch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, you know, for all our viewers out there, if you have a small businesses, like if you have a small clientele base, be more personalized. If you don't, be like, you know, Antito, do as much as you can. Of course, it's gonna incur a little bit expense, but is that expense gonna be like costly enough to like building a long-term relationship with your customer, you know? So thank you for that point, An.
No, I think, well, it's not rocket science. I just feel like,
you know, a lot of people doesn't have that, you know, common sense out there
because,
to think, you know?
Obviously, our mom with the salon business for 20, 30 years, and we mentioned that to her. I share how important it was in my business to know my clients, right? I said, Mom, do you want to give me your list of clients so I can put into this database?
Yeah.
And she thought it was a great idea, but remember, 30 years of doing something for so long is a habit for them.
Yeah.
They will know each person's name, and I mean, they're great memories, right?
Yeah.
They remember the story and what's last. But to really put into a database, it was hard for her.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we got somewhere to help her track it, but it wasn't where I wanted to be. And I want to share this with you is that, you know, if we want to make our life better and be more efficient and being more successful, we got to do the small things. And I think this is one of the smaller things you could do, tangible specifics.
But, you know, it's kind of like one of those, like, you know, either nail shop or like salon, right? It's one of those businesses, or even restaurant, like small businesses. Do you think that like even this small, you know, like tools or essential or like tasks that you guys are doing, you know, to help kind of retain, would it even work for like those type of business?
No, it does. Again, if you're a restaurant and you got thousands of clients coming in, right?
And it's hard for you to even track too.
Even if you do well, I still think it's important from a long-term and sustainability point of view to do this as well. But you're not going to do the whole birthday cards.
Yeah,
What you
probably
do is maybe
coupons.
No, I would do a reward program.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
You know, you come in, they put in the email address or phone number or whatever.
Right.
Give them a 10-15% discount, but at least you have a database.
Right.
Of interested clients.
Okay.
Right. And yes, ask them, did you like the food? What did you like or didn't like about it? You know, how was your service when you came in?
Yeah, that's
right. I mean, like I said, there are apps out there, but again, are you willing to embrace it? The question in this context is that the world it's more competitive now, right? And the economy is going through some difficult times. We need to be nimble and need to be smart about the small things that we can do to get ourselves to the next level. I understand it's just me and Frenchie giving our advice. Anybody could take it and run with it, or they choose not to. Right. And I hope you find this at least entertaining, even if you don't, don't implement some of the strategies and tools we talked about. But this is personal because it's my business, it's my mom's 30 years in business, it's my community members' businesses that I see that do well or doesn't do well. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of the things I'm sharing with you time tested, proven to be successful if you embrace them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all of this point is based on your professional, opinion and what you've seen, in the 18 years you've been doing in your field, and of course, your mom experience as well. But people have to take it like we're giving the opinion out there, but it's up to you guys whether you guys think it's going to be successful, or even if you're willing to embrace the change with the current economy. If you're not going to be embracing, you're going to be like, dead last in the race,
Right.
So,
well, I would say there's a lot of tools out there, so we want to share as well. So along with those, I would say another item, that I think is essential that a lot of our nail salons and small mom and pop businesses that we employ is being able to sit down and create what they call an employee handbook, right? Or a workflow strategy or workflow template. What that means is that, again, I'm sure you have a recipe of your restaurant from A to Z, what needs to be done, right? If you're a nail salon and you want to do powder or manicure or pedicure,
right,
there should be A to Z procedure how you want other employees to perform, right? It's not just, hey, go and take care of it because you got a license, do your way, right?
So it's like a training program to operate how your business
a workflow sheet, a strategy, and how you want certain services to perform. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, you keep it consistent, right?
Yep.
Employee A, employee B, various experiences, but do it consistently so that client can enjoy the similar experience, right?
Yep.
Same thing with food and preparation.
Yeah.
You just don't tell them, hey, you just don't need to do this. Do it from A to Z so you know the steps, right? Some people might do it faster, but you don't skip anything.
Right.
Most people, if you're not written down, they won't follow it.
Exactly.
Right? So for any small mom and pop, have it in writing as far as how you want things procedure-wise to be done, right?
Yeah.
Workflow, things needs to be done through A to Z. Every day you come in, how you open, how you close. As a bank, when we did with the bank, when we do with the investment company, when we do with any small business, they have procedures, right?
Of course.
But I think equally important is because now I think we talk about the cow saver, we talk about sexual harassment training.
Right.
It's more important for small business owner to be in compliance and require by law, state law, to have all these procedures in place. Right? You got to go through the training to know how to treat your employees in a certain way, right?
Right.
When you fire somebody, when you hire somebody, you have to have, a form to be filed. Level of expectations, ways that to handle disagreements and things of that nature.
Right.
So I'm not saying go out there and hire some third parties and create an employee handbook. I would say that a lot of the stuff that you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
If you were an employee, what would you expect? To be
treated
to be taught, right? Put yourself as a position as an employee. So you say, okay, an employee with this, then you write that down, as what you're able to provide for that employees.
Yeah.
Right? And then you are the employer. Well, based on the fact that what the employees is telling you as a level of expectations or what they're hoping to experience in their work environment, you as employer, what are you expecting them to do, right? In case of dealing with difficult customers, in case of dealing with, office politics, disagreement, whatever it is. Hey, we have a procedures and protocol how to handle disagreement, how to handle days of calling in sick. When I work and I have 24 hours a week of a certain time, I'm entitled for like 3 days of sick leave. This is what are your rights, right? What are your requirements in terms of as an employee? Now California is requiring a cow savers program to be introduced to them.
Right.
Like these needs to be written down somewhere. Right? So that you as an employer are in compliance with state and federal law, right? Again, I'm not saying, bombard yourself with all these stuff and then don't understand half of it. Like consult with somebody who do this every day, right? But have something. I'm not saying it doesn't have to be perfect. Create something at least you can add on later.
Right.
But don't just ignore that. I come into work, everybody do their own job, we're happy, collect my money, we're done.
Yeah, so that's really a good point, and to have a workflow, like you were saying, that the workflow not only trying to get your business efficient, but it's actually gonna give whatever if you are a service or like restaurant and whatnot, you're controlling the quality, the services that the customer are receiving you know, if they don't follow A to Z step, right? And everybody's doing their own thing with like cooking or whatever. The quality of the food every time is like, why is my food so suck today? You know, really powerful. Like I said, it's such a powerful tool that how you're doing your workflow as part of your workflow. I'm sure that, you know, it's amazing that you being so busy still doing it. So I guess I have no reason for mine to like, you know.
I know. That's why we call it daily accountability. This is your daily. If you eat every day, if you breathe, you got to go to the bathroom every day. The very least you do is take notes every day. If you embrace the life of a business owner, right? A life of somebody who have more responsibility than just for yourself. I think I have to think of that, right? It's like there's a lot of things I can do for myself that doesn't really matter what other people think or that doesn't affect other people. But as a business owner, as a community leader, and as whatever, a parent or as a the boss of all your employees, much is given, much is expected. You got to at least do the accountability tracking so that you can be better and that your employee could be happy to be involved in your business and your customer could be happy as well. If one more takeaway, real quick, I know we can't belabor this point, is, and I think it's partly skills and partly tools. We talked about the business skills and tools and how you be better, but I think one area, and this is relevant as a community of refugees and immigrants. A lot of us came here recently too, right? And the great thing about our community is that since 75, a lot of us came here before. Some of us came here at a very young age. Some of us are born here. But there's still a big business demographics that come recently, right? And so the whole cultural and language competency, it's lacking, right? In that, yes, America, you can go start business. You come today, you can start business tomorrow, right? But to be a successful business, not do you need to implement and incorporate those important tools,
of course,
and skills we talked about, but I think the whole citizenship, right? Meaning, you know what I'm saying? You have to be a citizen. Citizenship meaning like you're an engaged citizen of America, right? Engaged person. That means, you care about your neighbors, you care about the school that your kids go to. You care about maybe, doing your due diligence and doing your civic duties, like votes and support, good nonprofit, whatever. Like there are people that choose not to do any of that. That's fine. But I think for us, beyond what is right and wrong, is like as a community, we want people to embrace us as a business owner, but also as a human being, as a fellow American. More than ever, I think we need to show our citizenship, right? It's that we love this country, we love the system, we love our neighbors, and we're willing to commit time for it. So along the same line of that commitment, I would say language competence and cultural competence is important. Right.
So it coming down to it, like how you're saying language and cultural competency, right? Everyone could like come from Vietnam, go over here. If you have the, the money, you could start business right away. But then coming down to it, what is your target of your business? You can't just be targeting only like, the community of like just Vietnamese people and like you're not improving your English with only dealing with, and like how you mentioned that you should be doing like, as part of a citizen, and it's a good one, interacting or like, giving back to the community maybe, but of course it coming down to it, whether you're really like practicing your English. I feel like, because moms and pops, I feel like they're only like dealing with like, the same clienteles and like, Vietnamese are in their same language that is not pushing them to improving their English.
I would say yes and no. I mean, I'm reflecting back on my mom experience, right? Came here, in early 80s, right? Never went to formal school as far as college or high school here in America. She made it work, right? Yes, her English is broken somewhat, but her English is actually a lot better than I thought because she reads books and she follows, her clients' life and experiences, right? And she learned from the various interaction, how to leverage that knowledge to be better each time, right? And so I know our folks can evolve and develop greater skills and knowledge as they spend more time. But it needs to be embraced that there's nothing wrong with learning to speak better English, right? And that's fine. I mean, I embrace our culture for the fact that people are multicultural and being great in Vietnamese or other Asian languages is also an attribute, a positive. However, if you're coming in from your client perspective from a foreign land, wanting to, service them in exchange for money, you at least have to show that, hey, I'm just like you.
Right.
I'm American, Vietnamese American, Asian American,
Yeah.
right? In that I have a certain skill set to perform and help you, and you exchange your dollar for that.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's a greater connection we have.
Right.
I worry about our politics. I worry about our state and our country. I worry about the weather and the climate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of
that
course.
brings in a deeper connection when you talk about things beyond just how do you want your nails to be filed, how do you want your hair to be cut, how do you want your food to be done.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Coming down to it is the communication part.
Right, but that comes with live experiences. For us it's easy, being here 30, 40 years, it's easy for us to talk about that.
Right.
For somebody who came maybe 4 or 5 years ago, they might not have that. I'm just saying, embrace the fact that let's work on that better.
Yeah.
Right, let's improve the fact that we also are empowered with so many opportunities here in America to make a good living for ourselves. Let's also embrace the idea of being a fuller citizen of America by more than just as a business person.
Yeah.
But your ability to engage and to improve your skills in language and culture, improve your business position. Does that make sense?
Right, of course. Like imagine if you go into like a nail salon or something, somebody is helping you doing your nails and then no dead silent, like no communication. Like one, you're not building a long-term relationship with a customer. They're probably not going to come back unless your service is really good and they don't mind like, you're not responsive. Right. But the other part is like just helping spreading the word, be like, oh yeah, they're really friendly and like I have a really good service. I want to come back again. You know?
I think for me another personal story is that when my mom shares personal stories about how she came to America to her clients are my, believe it or not, spin class instructor. Her clients are my restaurant owners. You know what I mean? Her client, because she worked in the state capitol, these are also politicians. So there's that reciprocal relationship, right? There weren't just my mom's client, there were also people in the community who are leaders and teachers and whatever. And so because of that connection, my goodness, when we share deeper stories of greater understanding, right? That relationship was even further because even at this age, people still ask, how is your brother doing? The guy who went to medical school. How are your other siblings who work, at the state capitol? Because mom was able to articulate and share all that personal story with them. It engaged and it also personalized that relationship. Yeah. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah. So I just feel like, that's our attribute. I mean, our story is so compelling, Frenchie, as refugees and immigrant, whether it's Asian or Vietnamese, whatever, like embrace that story, right? I'm not saying, dramatize it, embellish it, whatever. Like, dude, there's nothing wrong with being a boat person. There's wrong with being an immigrant. Like white American, black American overall will embrace that because to them, that's the greatness of America. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Because
so
we're
don't
diverse.
be shameful. Yeah.
Yeah, we're a diverse country and like everyone from everywhere, are like joining here and like that's the good things about like that's why English, like learning English is a language that's gonna tie everyone with like communication.
I think partly is because you saw the comedian Angelina Johnson, right? Remember?
Angelina Johnson.
Angelina Johnson, I think is her name, and she made fun of the nails people, right? And for a long time, I kept it inside because one, it was so personal. It's funny, but it wasn't funny when you got personal, right? Number two, we didn't have a response for that. That means our community didn't have another comedian to respond to, or even a community leader to say, these people work hard and sacrifice, and all you can do is make fun of them, right? And our folks are different somewhat, right? We do things uniquely, so it's funny as a fodder for comedy. But what I wanted us to embrace is the fact that not everybody appreciate what we do. Right. Not everybody sees us for the hard work and sacrifice we make. They will take any opportunity to criticize, make fun of us, to belittle us, whatever. Yeah. They do what they do. We need to do what we need to do. But don't just ignore the fact that we still have to accept that citizenship and accept the fact that we need to be better as American, Asian American, Vietnamese American, and also better in terms of just overall, in addition to being a good business person. Wow. Thank you for all these tools that you shared. Any other tools that we could helpfully better ourselves? I think the video is running out of battery, and I think the audience is getting kind of like, what the heck are they talking about? I thought it was business and taxes, but appreciate the opportunity. Thanks everybody for watching, listening, and looking forward to add more value in our future episode. Definitely. We hope that you guys can can see where we're coming from, the heart that we have for the business community and our overall community, coming from the sacrifices our parents have made for so long. And so the very least we can do is, channeling their hardship and commitment and sacrifices, but also take advantage of all the skills and knowledge and experience we have for the last 18, 20 years as part of the Team Jingya team,
Yeah. Well, thank you, Antito, for joining. And like always, thank you, viewers, for joining us on this episode. And as always, if you have any other question, fill out, visit our website, oursalonmoms.com, for any question, concern, or if you have a topic you want to discuss with us in the future or like for next episode, please reach out and visit our website, and we'll be seeing you on the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.